Hi, I'm Troy. This is my 1998 Beneteau 50 Shelby.
The late 90s Beneteau 50 are most well known for their Bruce Farr designed hulls. The New Zealand yacht designer has most recently designed boats for the Volvo Ocean Race and the America's Cup. The Farr designed Beneteaus are widely respected as true ocean crossing yachts. In this video, we're going to take a closer look at SV Shelby and its owner and captain, Troy.
Originally, when I lived in Hong Kong, my background was motor racing. And I started motor racing in Zhuhai, which is near Macau in Hong Kong. And a buddy of mine who I was car racing with had a yacht at the time, and this is about 8 or 9 years ago now, and invited me out on his yacht, Authority, to do some of the Hong Kong race series. So I'd sort of done social sailing in Sydney before, but nothing really serious in terms of sailing. So that was sort of my real introduction to properly sailing and crewing on a yacht. The challenge with sailing was a skill set that I hadn't had before, and there's a lot of learning and a lot of intricacy to making a boat go consistently fast, and that was both curious and a challenge to me. I've always loved being on the water. And then in the back of my mind was building this idea of sailing around the world one day. I always knew I wanted to see the world somehow, and I think the two things came together in that I always wanted to see different people, 1,000 different ways to live life. I've seen and lived one, and I'd like to see other cultures. And then with that sailing skill and sailing experience, the two sort of came together, and that's when I decided, I want to actually sail around the world. So when I was looking for boats, it's interesting because I started looking for something completely different, and I was looking at these boats and then coming away thinking, no, it's not quite right. And it wasn't until I sat down and made a list and said, here's all the features of the boat I actually want, that then I then knew what sort of models to start looking at. So for me, it had to be comfortable and the ability to live aboard. Ultimately, yes, able to go around the world, but didn't have to go around the world at a given pace. It just had to be capable of circumnavigating. And a lot of people have different views about blue water boats versus non-blue water boats, but I think with the appropriate skipper, and in the right conditions, and with weather forecasting these days, a lot of boats are capable to do it. But having the ability to be able to handle an ocean crossing was a consideration. So this is Shelby is a 1998 Beneteau 50. It's the hull is the Farr design hull. So a lot of people prefer the sort of pre-2000 Beneteau vintage for their thicker and stronger hulls. This is the 3-cabin version. So the forward cabin is the master. It has a 100 horsepower Volvo Penta engine, and has always been an owner boat. It's never been a charter boat, etc. Originally out of Florida in the States, before it was owned by another Aussie guy that I bought it off about 18 months ago now. Eventually I narrowed it down to 3 types of boats that I was specifically looking for, that I felt were the best compromise for me. Every boat is a compromise, but I felt was the best compromise for what I wanted to do. And then I specifically started looking for those 3 models, and not by design, just by chance. This boat came up in Australia. So obviously, I've got friends, connections back there. While I've been living in Asia, I then actually flew back for, the inspection and the survey, etc. But yeah, there was a Geno 49, the DS, Geno so 49 or 54 DS, and then also the Beneteau 50, which was my short list when I started looking in earnest. I think that, again, the reputation of the Farr design hull. I'd seen this guy on YouTube sail one halfway across the world. So, no, I say that jokingly, but also, half serious. And I think this particular hull has that reputation for being capable to cross oceans. This boat in particular is pretty well cared for. Like even this week here at the Neptune Regatta, a lot of people have said, I'm surprised it's 20 years old and it looks well cared for. So, when I first saw her, I thought, oh wow, it is actually looked after. There was a fair bit of maintenance to be done on some of the machinery like generator, etc. But nothing that a bit of time and effort couldn't fix. Well, I think for any boat, get a good survey, of course. And I don't have any particular technical skills in rigging or anything like that. So a good survey, a specific rigging inspection. So I had a professional rigger check that out separately to the survey and give me their independent feedback. I think it's important the buyer picks the surveyor as well. I see a lot of occasions where a broker or a seller says, oh yeah, here's the local inspection guy or whatever surveyor to do it. But I think come with your own trusted surveyor to give you that independent opinion. And I think be honest with yourself about what you're actually going to do with the boat. For me, it's nice to say, oh well, I'm going to circumnavigate the globe, right? But are you going to be doing that each and every day? So that you have to be honest with yourself about the realities of how you're going to use the boat. And maybe once a year you're going to cross an ocean, but the rest of the year, how are you going to use the boat, and what's going to suit you on those times? So at the moment, I live on her in Singapore, and sort of explore the local area around Southeast Asia, so between Thailand, Malaysia, Indonesia, Singapore, etc. Building my own experience, so I think to get to the point where I will be comfortable to go around the world, etc. I need a lot more miles under my belt, so just building that up and enjoying sailing her, and learning all the maintenance stuff as well, which I think is important to be able to do yourself. The adventures of SV Shelby, so Instagram SV Shelby 333. 333 was my car race number in my car racing days, hence the reference. Anyone wants to get in contact there or follow the adventures, that'd be great.
Okay. Anything else you want to add or talk about a boat or anything?
No, I think it's look, it suits me. It's very comfortable. And for now, it's good. You always look and dream about other boats, but for me, I think this is a great boat, and I'm really looking forward to what we achieve together. Welcome aboard. This is the cockpit of Shelby. All right, so here's the cockpit of Shelby. Dual helm stations, which provides a nice walk-through access from the transom, which is one of the key features that I really liked and wanted. Obviously in tropical waters, etc., especially here in Asia, it's nice to jump off the back, etc., and go swimming. So all Raymarine electronics, 2 multifunction displays, and then your Tridata twin autopilots here, 1 at each helm. Throttles on this side. All important as an Australian boat is the barbecue on the rail there, which is due for an update actually. All winches are auto, which is good, which is handy. Tend to use them manually though a fair bit when we're sailing, just for the fun of it. And then moving forward, 2 more winches up on the coaming there ahead of the jammers, and of course the full enclosure. So the transom at the back here, we've got the 2 davits, which the high-field dinghy hangs off, just with a pulley system. So we can either put the dinghy on the foredeck, lift it up on the davits here, or if we really need to, trail it behind, but my preference is to run it up on the davits. 2 outboard mounts, and we tend to use this here for a Yamaha 4 horsepower 4-stroke. It's a little bit awkward getting it up and down from the dinghy, but not too bad. Also there we've got wind generator and solar up on top of the back of the covers here. So when I bought Shelby, I had all of the running rigging and standing rigging replaced, and all of the lines run back to the cockpit here, which I think is important for single or double handing, and had all the lines colour coded. So to me at least they make sense and are logical on what goes with what. Yeah. So in terms of communications, etc., I've got the Iridium Go system installed, which is invaluable for the delivery up from Australia to Singapore, and also you can see back there the radar equipment which feeds into the chart plotters. Everything also is mirrored and via wireless on devices, so I've got everything running through an iPad on board, which will show all gauges, everything that's on the MFDs, and also battery management, solar system, etc. So all through an iPad that I can use anywhere on the boat. All right, so one of the things that I did change when I bought Shelby, again, is all the standing rigging, running rigging. She's got in-mast furling. The life raft was brand new. I bought it and upgraded the life raft. One other thing I also added, if we come a little bit further forward, is the cutter stay. So she had the Jenny, etc. But one thing I added was the cutter stay, or maybe it's more of a solent rig, and added an additional storm sail to that. So a bit more practical, underway and in higher winds, makes the boat a bit more stable, sail a bit more upright. So the standing rigging too, I bought this boat in Tasmania in Australia, so Oyster Cove Rigging did all of the standing rigging for me, and did a good job. And then a couple of my friends sailed her up from Tasmania to Singapore, where I'm living. So anchor wise, I'm using a Saka XL, which is another Australian designed and made anchor. I bought sort of one size oversized, just for security. Helps you sleep at night a bit better if you know or think that you're anchored securely, and powered by a cheetah windlass here. 100 metres of chain in the chain locker, so plenty of scope when you're in those deeper anchorages or more windy conditions. So here we've got the forward sail locker. On many of these Beneteau 50s, this is like a crew cabin, or a skipper's area on some of the charter boats, but for me it's just a straight sail locker and storage area. So spinnaker, buoys, extra line, windlass control. As a liverboard, it's sort of a quasi garage as well, so for me some sporting equipment and various bits and pieces down here, and keep stuff here to declutter the rest of the boat as well. It's pretty handy. Alright, so welcome to the Salon of Shelby. Here, formerly we've had the table and the dining area, but I've taken the table out here to give us a bit more room and space to get around, which is good. In terms of underneath, we've got some of the equipment: water maker, hot water system, water pumps, inverters, generator sitting under the bench here as well, and then through to the galley. Obviously you've got Force 10 stove, all of the storage, pantries, etc. Freezer here, standard freezer, and then fridge, backing on to the nav station of course, and all of the instrumentation panels, which is all original. And then behind you there, Bobby, we've got the electronics, so radios, etc., and a third spare fridge in there. Now if we duck through here, this is the, as I call it anyway, the VIP cabin. But this is just a twin cabin aft for guests with its own head, which is pretty big and comfortable. I think that's a full queen size in there. As you can tell, we're actually underway right now in the middle of a leg of the regatta. So this is Shelby as she runs the regatta. You're seeing the Boat Tour Tuesday live in action. So here is another cabin, which is the twin of that cabin, but I have that set up as a garage or storage room at the minute, and instead of an additional head, that has a laundry in there with washing machine, etc. So really kitted out for long-term cruising. So this is the main cabin on Shelby. In the charter version and White Squall had the two cabin forwards, but for this version this is one combined cabin. Again, as you can see, pretty large berth, etc. Now as I live on board, obviously you're seeing a lot of personal effects around, and a bit of a lounge here with all storage underneath. Now the other key difference with the 4-cabin version is in the head and shower. So here, instead of the twin heads, you've got standing shower separate to a head. So that makes life a bit more practical, again, for living aboard and long-term cruising.
All right, Troy, well, you have a pretty awesome boat.
Thanks, man.
Hey, thank you for having me out and getting to sail on it. It was really cool.
No problem, anytime.
It was my first regatta. I got to sail with him. There should be a link popping up if you want to watch that video. It was really a lot of fun doing that.
same for me, man.
Yeah, I think we had, man, there was some definite legs where we killed them, and then there was some one where we didn't.
Where they killed us.
Yeah, but hey,
that's the fun.
Yeah, that's part of the fun. So
no, thanks for coming along, and anytime you want to come back,
all right, we'll do it. We'll do it again.
Cool.
All right. Well, thank you for watching another episode of Sailing Doodles. This is the Boat Tour Tuesday. We're gonna try to do a few more of these, bring a little more personal stories to it. Hope you enjoy it. Please click the like button and subscribe if you haven't already. That's what really helps us out in the ratings. This is how we make our living these days. And so if you do that, it really helps us. So thank you so much. And patreon.com/sailingdoodles. That's really, you guys are what makes this channel possible. We couldn't do it without you. So thank you guys, and we'll see you on the next episode.